What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Sean, bearded Kappa Litton.
I am Jerry Robo Tengu Smith. How's it going this week, Sean? How you doing? How you hanging in there?
Oh, are we really going to start with that? Uh, it's been a week for me, brother. Uh, Without trying to get too much into woe is me-isms. Arkansas is dumb as shit, and we're currently leading the country in cases of a certain virus that's still going strong down here. So I am, despite my fully vaccinated status, am forced to be working manual labor in hot warehouses fully masked again. And
Yeah, that sucks.
on top of my fat ass sweating and working hard anyway, wearing my ass out. Not, and I'm not one of those like I can't breathe in a mask. I can breathe fine, but I got hot breath and a full
hmm
beard. It just makes my already hotness hotter in the hot warehouse. So, okay,
Yeah, that's rough.
that's my whining out the way. Beyond that, I'm employed, married. I got nerdy shit. I have a podcast with
Mhm.
my one of my bestest friends in the world. So it ain't all bad.
Oh
Just
man,
people are
yeah, I've
good.
been meaning to listen to you and Craig's
You
podcast.
really should. We are
For a
the
while.
bestest of friends out there, and way more interesting people over there. How
Oh
about you, man? How are you doing?
yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Work's kind of slowed down, so it's made like the weeks go by so much slower.
Uh,
So the work week is just kind of like boring. The weekends haven't been bad. Yesterday, we finally decided to get out and do like an activity that didn't involve like going to a place and sitting down and watching a movie.
oh,
Um, so there are plenty of trails to walk around here, and we're in that rare like time frame of Washington where it's not like constantly raining. Which
oh,
like even whenever it is raining, it's not like pouring down rain. It's just
right.
like kind of misty a lot of the time. Like that's like Washington's neutral weather, which honestly would still be great for hiking in. So I kind of look forward to that. But so we actually have these trails that aren't far from us. That's called the Japanese Gulch.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, and we've really been kind of fascinated with this for the longest time, just kind of like wondering, how the hike is and stuff like that. Just kind of intrigued to see because the nature here is fucking gorgeous. It's just amazing.
oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, and it's just kind of got a neat little history. So it's in 1903, Mukilteo Lumber Company was established and continued its operations until 1930. Many of its workers were Japanese immigrants who, with their families, lived in company housing, and which became known as Jap Gulch, later changed to Japan Gulch, and then Japanese Gulch. Most of the Japanese worker moved away. Crown Lumber Company closed, so it was kind of like a lumber company thing.
Oh,
World War II created the incentive to use Payne Field in Japanese Gulch as a defense position to protect the Bremerton shipyard and the Boeing plant in Seattle. For World War II, it ended, militarization ended, and the Boeing plant in Plainfield was developed. A railroad was constructed in the 1960s in order to carry materials to and from the Boeing plant. So, if you don't know, like Boeing's like huge here,
oh, I imagine,
shipping,
yeah.
exports, and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. There were like two different trails that you could go. One was like um, you know 0.25 miles or whatever, and one was like an actual like huge trail,
Oh,
which is what we were going to do. But we got there and we found out that there was apparently a mudslide not too long ago, and it kind of washed away one of their bridges.
oh,
So
jeez.
yeah, so we only went about that far just to see how bad it was, and then we kind of took like a detour around, and then we walked the shorter one. I am so very very just out of practice, just not in it, out of shape, I guess you could say, because I did fine on the hike, but I could kind of feel like, oh man, this is like really messing me up, like way more than I thought it would. Like, I get winded so much faster because we went like a whole year without doing anything like outdoors or just staying basically shut in and at my computer. But it was a lot of fun. It was only around like 70 degrees or so yesterday, so it was like the perfect time for it. Kind of overcast. And the other trail that they had, the one that's supposed to be 0.25 miles, it actually goes out to the Mukilteo like ferry and the train station, stuff like that. So we kind of like hung out there and ate lunch and saw some cool shit. There was like a little jellyfish in the water there and everything. It was really neat. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, very cool. Like I know, like
Yeah.
surprisingly, from at least from our conversations, I'm sure you may
Mhm.
have had many grand adventures you just didn't think about sharing with me. But yeah, like
Mhm.
from what I can tell you, you haven't really had much opportunity, especially with last year and everything. Shut
Right.
the fuck
Yeah.
down and everything. You
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
really been able to explore your new home of a what? You're coming up on a couple of years now, if not already a couple of years. Uh,
Yeah. So we got here in November 2019. So
yeah,
November will be two years officially
yeah.
living in Washington. So yeah, I haven't really got to get out and get around. I've had plenty of people recommend places, but just haven't really got to explore that much. So it was kind of nice to finally get out, and we're actually planning to get out again this coming weekend, as to try to take advantage because we're like I think 30 or more days into like a drought. Like there
Oh,
was like one slightly like sprinkly day, but other than that, yeah, it's just been pretty dry out.
yeah.
So
We've been in the triple digits for weeks over
it
down
sucks.
south. You've been here long enough, you know.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like I keep telling myself I'm gonna need to get back out and walk some more. But yeah, when I'm already
Oh, it
spending five
sucks.
days a week in heat while working, it kind of makes me not want to go out in the nature heat to
Yeah.
walk nowhere. And,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, we ain't got no Japanese trails around here. We just have neighborhoods, and the height of my exploration is Pinnacle Mountain, which is still a
Yeah.
very fun climb, and I do plan to hit that up, but I am gonna need Arkansas to calm the fuck down and chill out a
Mm-hmm.
little bit.
Yeah, it just really saps all the energy from you and just makes you not want to do anything but sit under AC.
Yeah, I mean, like, we love making this show, man. But as I mentioned to you, you're like, "Are you ready to go?" I'm like, "Man, I'm on the couch right now. I just got off work. it,
Yeah,
uh, it was hard, but we gotta do
yeah.
what we gotta do to keep all of our fives and fives of people listening to our show entertained.
All our ones and twos of people
You know who
that
you
are,
are. We appreciate every one of you.
yeah, we love you very, very much.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, we haven't
yeah.
been doing too much.
Hmm.
I guess actually I was thinking about it. You ever like disappoint yourself in not liking something?
All the time,
Okay.
Sean. Have you met me?
Well, no, but you love everything. I still remember your
That's
your,
true.
your
That's
Facebook
true.
post about how hyped you were for Green Lantern.
Right, right, right.
No, I've been a big fan of most of the seasons of American Horror Story, and they recently made the anthology show American Horror Stories,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I watched four. Yeah, I think 4 episodes have dropped as of this recording, and like not all of them are bad or anything, but like I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm not into this. I really was because I
Hmm.
was really excited about I loved like the seasonal storytelling, which of course always has the benefit over episodic. But
Hmm.
like, yeah, I watched all four, and like, have you? I don't know if you checked them out or not, but like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, the
I'm up to date on it.
the drive-in episode was probably the best one,
Oh yeah,
and it was
for
only
sure.
and it was only okay. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, I'm a horror buff. My
Yeah.
podcast with my true best friend in the world, as you mentioned. No, but my other podcast with our buddy Gregory, that reviews horror movies. Granted, but like
Hmm.
I'm a horror buff. I'm a self-proclaimed, and I don't think anyone can argue the facts. I love horror,
Hmm.
and I guess I really wanted to like this show. I don't know if I'm jaded or what. I need other people. I haven't heard, but granted, I haven't heard many people talking about it, so maybe I'm not
Hmm.
alone. I was
Yeah.
wondering if you had watched any, if at all. It's not like you're caught up. So like, I mean, what are you thinking about it?
Yeah, so my whole thoughts on it, and it was weird because I kind of went into it with kind of like so expectations because Steph and I did just marathon all what 9 seasons or whatever of American Horror Story that are out,
Right.
and I mean, just like that, like those are very hit or miss.
Yeah,
Like
of
the
course.
writing's kind of like spotty here and there, but like the biggest thing that always kept me going, and it's like my favorite thing about American Horror Story is the reoccurring actors in different roles, which
Right.
this show isn't doing like at all.
No, no,
And
no.
with
There is.
well, I mean, they did the let's see, so they had the therapist from Murder House, right?
Yeah.
And then they also had the what's her name from the drive-in that was like the lady that experienced it in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pepper. Yeah, she
Pepper.
played Pepper
Yep.
in Carnival or Freak Show and
Asylum.
in Asylum. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, a little
they
bit, but I get what you mean.
yeah,
How like the
yeah.
main cast had been
hmm
reoccurring character roles. Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you.
Right. Yeah. So that was always kind of like my main thing of getting into these. But I also kind of expected that they would do more like the first episode and just kind of go through the seasons and make little short stories that took place around the same like settings, almost, just maybe different time periods or something like that. But yeah, we didn't really we haven't really gotten that yet either. And like I mean, the Christmas episode was interesting. Fucking love that they brought Danny Trejo into it.
Yeah, I mean, you
And
can't
then
be
of
mad
course,
about any. You can't. Sorry, you can't be mad
yeah.
when Danny Trejo shows up.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially when he does what you knew he was going to do to those
Right.
like 4 YouTube influencer bros. It was I was like, yeah, okay, these guys need to go.
Right.
It's time. So, but yeah, as far as like writing episodically like that, just a story per episode is just I don't know if it's as gripping. I know you can do it. You could definitely do it, right? We've seen plenty of things where it's easy to do. Yeah, just maybe they are saving the best for last or something.
Yeah, I mean, like Vanetta really liked. My wife, for those who don't know, really
Mm.
liked Drive-In and Christmas. Like she was like, I don't know about this after the first two, which was a two-parter, which it was call back to Murder House, and I agree with
Mm-hmm.
her. It was. I'm very conflicted because it was. It at times it felt like let's redo the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a problem with this. Just, but it just seemed like at least at first this was the only change they wanted to do. Like that was enough to get people interested. We're gonna redo the
Mm-hmm.
first season, but everybody's gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, like I didn't care that everyone was gay, but that felt like what I
Yeah.
mean. Like that was like this is the only reason we want to retell it. And but
Yeah.
it got a little more interesting through part two. But overall, it was just kind of weak and not really. I don't know a happier ending than I thought was going to happen.
Oh, right, for sure.
Little spoilers, but not really. But yeah, and then like I said, drive in because being the cinema buff that I am, and
Mhm.
I knew what they were referencing with the cursed films and stuff,
Oh,
and like I appreciated that, and of course that dude's trailer had a lot of like little things here and there.
yeah, and I completely forgot that he had reappeared. He
Right.
was Ed Gein in Hotel, and then he was what was his name, Mister Tasty or
I think something like
uh,
that. The clown, yeah,
the clown?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so they I guess they've limited about maybe 2 per episode
right,
or something.
yeah, yeah, and then Christmas. I was like, I'm not gonna watch any more episodes.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, douchebags getting theirs is good and all, and I admit the neck
Mhm.
snap got me a little like okay, that was seeing the bones pop through, but I don't know,
Mhm.
it just they got theirs for sure, but I still wouldn't
Uh-huh.
like I don't know. I
Yeah.
hope it does get better. My understanding is there's going to be actually a pretty long season, like. It'll be episodic still, but
Mm.
it's going to go as long as like the other one. So I'll
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
tune in, but I'm like, man, I just it's just it comes to a time when you love something so much and you start feeling like you're jaded. I just want to make sure it wasn't just me,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, where I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I've seen higher class horror, like this
yeah.
pedestrian attempts at horror are just not doing it for me anymore. And I got spoiled off of the Fear Street trilogy. Like, my
Oh my God.
God,
I I can't even tell you. Like the whole time we've been watching American Horror Stories, I
yeah.
was like, God, I just wish this was Fear Street.
And dude, yeah, like without like spoilers for we got two of the three episodes reviews up. We'll be doing the third one here before too long. A little bit of spoilers
Mhm.
for those who listen here and listen there. I like the entire trilogy, and I
Yeah.
really am hoping for spin-offs because there's some interesting things going on in those movies that are not addressed. And I
Mhm.
hope they're not just left because like if they keep up this quality, it's going to make for an amazing franchise.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really like R.L. Stein really fucking kicked it into gear with that, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
It was so good.
and that's my understanding too. Is like this trilogy of movies maybe covered 3 of 20 books or something. Like his Fear Street series apparently was very big.
Hmm.
So like there's if it's doing as well as I feel like it did, and hopefully a lot of
Hmm.
others. I mean, Netflix would be dumb not to keep it pumping.
Oh yeah, seriously. Like it's something that we definitely need is a good trilogy. And I mean, come on, like coming out week to week
Right.
per movie. Oh God, I love that so much. Just not having to wait a super long time in between movies was such a great thing.
Right.
But I mean, it is one of those things that it's like, well, shit. Now I really need more. Like,
Yeah. And again, like I don't because I've got this other podcast. I don't really dive into the horror movies as much. And if I do,
yeah.
I gotta take notes or or watch it again. It's fine for the because the show has made me not just like looking up every horror movie just to start watching them for my own personal enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
And which not although there is one I gotta apparently check out. Craig mentioned it was called Swarm. It's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's a French horror film, which I've not seen very many of. So I'll be looking into that as a possible review. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, yeah, now I'm thinking about it. Speaking of like reviews,
Yeah.
those listening who've known me for fuck, I don't remember how long I've been doing it now. I have an October tradition
Yes.
where
Yes, you do.
I watch random horror movies and give quick just my thoughts on Facebook, and it usually leads to good interactions and whatnot. But and I posted it as of this recording. I posted that too long ago on on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That because of my Macabre Matinee podcast, I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that because I have a show. You want to hear my thoughts on horror movies? Go watch my fucking show.
Oh, right. Right.
So I decided to kind of genre binge, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because my tradition, for those who may not know, I used to watch a new to me, a horror movie I've never seen before. Old or new, doesn't matter, as long as I hadn't watched it, every day of October. 31 days of horror, and if I happened to be off or home all day on the 31st, I would just marathon as many new movies as I could. And I would post them on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. So this time, I think I'm gonna do like I'm gonna post up on my socials a list of genres from like say, and I'm trying to be offbeat. I could make it easy. Give me an action movie, give me a romantic comedy. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to go a little different. Try to make it at least a little niche, maybe, or just I'm trying to think of some good categories
Right.
that I want to do, and then I'll be taking requests. And I doubt I'll get 31 requests, although you never know. Y'all out there might throw some good
Mm-hmm.
shit at me, and then I'll be picking a few movies and kind of doing it that way. It's just kind of mixing it up. It probably won't be as much of the like movies I haven't seen, although hopefully through the requests there'll be movies. Or if like say I do musicals, that could be
Mm.
literal song and dance movies, like say West Side Story,
Yeah.
or that could also encompass movies about musicians, like what was that Motley Crue docu movie on Netflix and stuff. You know what I
Oh.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Rocket
Yeah.
Man,
Dirt,
yeah,
I
Dirt,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
So stuff like that could all kind of encompassing together. So
Hmm.
that's kind of what I'm kind of tossing around in my head. I've been talking about just doing that as a series of reviews, anyways. That'll probably be one of the options. We'll see what my friends out there think. But of course, that's just for my own socials. That's
Yeah.
yeah, just something I'm thinking about now. I got a couple months to try and piece it all together.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, do you have any like recommendations just yet, or do you have an idea of where you're going to start or anything?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
Sorry if I wasn't clear. I'm tired.
No.
What I'm gonna be doing is like say post. All right, like on my post it'll be everyone vote in the comments because you can't make a poll unless you have a fucking business page or something on Facebook for some
Yeah, that's
reason.
weird.
Like all right, martial art films, Japanese period films. That might kind of fall together. But like,
Yeah.
anime, musicals, uh, romantic comedies, and just whoever comments, I'll count down whoever made whatever one got the most picks. I'll then say,
Mhm.
okay, throw me some requests of this genre, and I'm gonna try and watch 31 of those type of movies through October.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, that sounds dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that. I need to find a like a classic samurai film that you haven't seen.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Of course, and again, like say I do Japanese period films, which could
mhm.
encompass old, new. Like I still haven't seen what was that one take 47-minute fucking or slaughter
Oh
samurai film,
yeah,
like something like that.
yeah,
Someone could recommend, and I'll hopefully be able to find it. Of course, I can't go broke doing these requests because no one pays me for my shit. But that kind of thing. Like someone could recommend that. Someone could just tell me go watch Seven Samurai again, and they want to hear my thoughts because I've never reviewed it on Facebook. You know, anyone
mhm.
who knows me knows my thoughts. But but again, like that's if that one's picked. I might do anime films. Just give me your favorite anime films. Let me see if I can find them. This 31 anime reviews. It's basically a way of going like I'm kind of limiting the genre, so I'm not just getting all kind of wild random movies.
Mhm.
Which I may
Yeah,
act. I mean, I may just do that sometime too. But for October, I kind of want like let's keep it themed because it used to always be horror in October, which of course made sense. And just by tradition, I kind of want to keep it in October. But but now maybe I might start doing like monthly or every few months. Kind of like hey, what type of movies do you want? Quick, small paragraph in a Facebook comment. What I think about movies again. Kind of like how I used to do with the horror films.
right. Yeah, yeah. And I think that'll be an exciting little change up, little twist. I might join you for some of those and
Oh yeah,
check out
yeah.
some movies that I haven't seen. I just hope that it turns into like a good recommendations thing and not
Oh
a
no.
like this movie's so bad recommendations thing.
Oh, it'll always
Yeah,
happen. I
yeah,
love all my friends somewhat, but there's always those ones that want to be ass clowns and be like, because I did it with the horror films before, and there were quite a few people. I'm not going to drop their names because I'm not giving them any of their attention they were seeking. But somebody literally commented after I reviewed it, going, "Yeah, I just hated it so much. I just wanted someone else to suffer too."
yeah,
Like, you know what? You're my friend and all, but you can also go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? It's like don't like if you're because it's not like I was making a video. I'm not the angry video game nerd. Well, I'll make a 20-minute video cussing and shitting on something. If it's negative, I'm gonna
uh-huh.
be negative. But like, what were you really gaining from me going typing on Facebook? Yeah, this was a really bad movie, bad production. I didn't enjoy it. This is horrible.
Hmm.
Was that enough?
Right.
Give me something I might actually want to discuss with you. Because that's kind of the idea
Yeah,
about these.
exactly.
I can post my YouTube reviews like I used to, where I'm just talking to a camera. But like what I've learned from making this show with you and even our previous podcast and making the show with Craig, like the quick reviews are fine, but like that's why I used to do like less than 5 minute reviews because I can't just sit there talking to myself
Hmm.
with like really
Hmm.
do. I'd rather have interaction. So the idea of the
Yeah, it's,
Facebook
it's
post.
hard to keep it up without the dialogue going back and forth.
Right. And so a quick thought on Facebook of giving my thoughts and hopefully getting some banter. It's kind of what I really enjoy when I'm someone like, hey, I watched this film. Oh, I really love that film. Yeah, and then I can talk to y'all about it. Instead of this, because it's impossible just to get multiple guests all the time, for every movie or anything to
Uh
make it
huh.
video wise. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm already kind of getting the list in my head of options. But and I feel like knowing my friends what'll probably be picked. But hey, I'm always surprised.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. I mean, it's still amazes me to this day that people can pop up with something because I've like you and I have watched so much shit,
Right.
but like somebody could be like, "Hey, have you ever watched this? It came out in like the 80s or 90s or something."
Right.
I'm like, "No, I've never heard of that." And they're like, "It's the most amazing film ever made." And then I'll watch it and be like, "How the fuck has this slipped past my radar
Oh,
for this?"
dude, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's cinema, and which is what I love about cinema. What I love about films is that like I'm 41 years old. I've watched through limitations growing up to my own freedom
Hmm.
as I got older. I have seen a ton of different types of films, from family friendly to the most avant garde, mature. I never want to talk about it again. Because especially when
Hmm.
you learn how to BitTorrent stuff and the internet is open to you, I found some shit. Like all cinema,
Yeah.
all films, like, but they're like, yes, everyone hits that edgy period where we're like, well, you know what are banned films? That
Hmm.
are no longer
Hmm.
shown.
Oh
And
God.
I've seen, granted, all fake, all cinema, but
Hmm.
I've seen some shit. I'm gonna throw a name out
Yeah.
there just because I used to challenge my friends to it.
Ugh,
You know what I'm talking
never.
about?
I will on it. I will never fucking watch that film. I don't even know like the premise of it. Nobody's told me what it's about,
Yeah,
but I've just seen enough reactions to people reacting to it and just talking about it as this huge like thing that's like
yeah.
out there that I just know that I don't ever want to watch it.
The challenge that I found online in a place I'm not going to name because it
Mm,
is a cesspool, I admit, but yet I still dip my toe there every now and again.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, the film is called a Serbian film, and the challenge is to find it. Yeah, my last time I looked, and it's been years because I've watched it twice, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
On YouTube, uncut, fully uncensored, you can find it. Yeah, the challenge is to go in not knowing what it's about. Don't read anything. Just watch the film and feel bad about yourself for the next week.
Hmm.
Unless you're like some of our friends. 'Cause I remember I did that with a certain group of people, and they were just like, "I mean, it's just a movie." Like, I mean, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Right.
quote the Big Lebowski. But
Mm,
yeah, so but yeah, like so I've seen everything, like a lot of stuff. But and that side, that was a very roundabout way of agreeing with you about. And there's still movies I haven't seen. There's still so
mhm.
many great films that people haven't explored. And
Yeah.
occasionally, when I'm not getting told to watch, like Thanksgiving
Oh.
for my friends,
Oh.
I actually get good
Yeah.
recommendations.
I'm surprised you didn't say Mandy because that's what I was expecting.
I've beat you up enough about that not too long ago. I'm not gonna keep riding that. I could have brought back up Sharknado, but
Right, right, right.
but no, yeah, like Thanksgiving and Evil Bong or something, like some of those,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I love trauma films, and trauma films are
Hmm.
bad. Toxic Avenger being one of the most well known of those.
Sergeant Kabuki, man.
Yeah, like I love that cheesiness, and I love a good campy film, but sometimes it's just bad, and it's not so bad as good. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And yeah, so am I opening up, the dangers of recommendations? Absolutely, but but I never regret it. It's just
Yeah.
what. Do I type what I really think and hurt my friends' feelings? Probably. Or do I just be like, didn't like it, that's it. And I wasted an hour and a half of my life, which, meh, you know, I ain't got much going on anyway.
Yeah, I could just literally just sit and consume media for hours. It's probably one of those things that like, scientists are like, "Oh, that's so bad for you. You should get outside and, take up sunshine." It's like, "No, I'm watching Bad Batch right now. I'm trying to get caught up."
I know, right? Oh, and that's the other fucking thing too, which
Yeah.
is why I like these challenges, because
Mhm.
I am a consumer of media. If
Mhm.
I'm even if I'm doing other things, I gotta have something playing in the background.
Mhm.
And but instead of doing that, instead of like, hey, what about this brand new show that's getting rave reviews and you love it? Like, nah, I think I'm gonna watch Clone Wars for the third time again. All 7 seasons.
Are we like the more nerdy equivalent of those people that will go back to Friends like 50 times?
I
Like,
don't know about more nerdy. That's pretty damn nerdy themselves. Going back to
yeah,
watch
that's
Friends.
true.
But I have, like, that being said, like not Friends. I've watched episodes, but I haven't watched all of it. But yeah, but
Yeah,
I've gone back and watched more old shows and I probably discovered new ones.
yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, there's something probably I don't know. There's something bad about that only in the sense of like, hey, have you heard of this one? No, I've been meaning to check it out. Turn on Scrubs again for the 10th time.
Of course.
Marathon. I recently did went again. I went through the Star Wars movies and I wanted to watch Clone Wars, and I'm of course watching the new Bad Batch, which is why I'm watching it. Like I damn near started the MCU again just because of Loki, So it's like, but
Man, I really regret not watching any Spider-Man movies yesterday because it was
oh,
Spider-Man Day.
oh, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And like yeah, I kind of wish that I would have thrown something on, that was you know, I I haven't watched any of the older movies
right.
in a while. So I don't know. I've kind of been getting that itch. Like it's been long enough that I feel like I can watch the original uh, trilogy again.
Right. Yeah. Actually, like as you said it, like yesterday was Spider-Man Day. If I had been aware or awake enough to realize it, because I'm sure somebody said something I just didn't even click with me, I would have thrown on Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock.
Hmm.
Like, 'cause
Yeah,
I haven't watched that in a very long time, and that's still, to my memory, a damn good film.
yeah, yeah. It was the 59-year anniversary that he was created.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So August 1st. That means Spider-Man's a Leo. Sean, sorry.
Well, I can't like Spider-Man anymore. I guess I don't. You guys tell me what my star charts say as a Capricorn, how I should feel about Leos. Fuck if I know.
I mean, I'm a Leo, so however you feel about me, I guess that's how you could still feel about Spider-Man. I don't know.
Man, fuck Spider-Man.
like you literally have Leland, Laura, and I. So you've got a pretty diverse Leo category to pull from there, and just those three people.
I just want you to
So
know. Do you know the King Ghidorah 3 head meme?
oh yes,
Well,
that is us.
that is now
Tucci.
what I am picturing the you, Laura, and Leland as the 3 heads of Ghidorah, and I'm not telling you who's the goofy one. Who's making the goofy face?
Like listen, it could be a toss up on any day
It
and
really
time of
could.
either me or Lee. So
I actually just saw Laura for the first time in a long time.
oh, oh cool.
I got invited by our friend John
Hmm.
to play an NPC in his Pathfinder game because he had 6 players and 3 NPCs he just added into it because he's running
Oh,
a module and not just free
mm,
balling it. And
mm,
I'm off on Saturday nights now because I get off at like 1:30.
nice,
And he's like, "Do you want to come play an NPC?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that." And
nice.
I get there, and I'm catching up. 'Cause I haven't seen like Laura or David and Noel or John in a while. And
Mm,
I know I had met Brandon in person, and he had to
hmm.
remind me. I was like, "Yeah," because we're kind of doing the introduction. Like, man, I know I've met you a couple times. He goes, "Yeah, we played a lot of Monster Hunter together." Like, you're that Brandon.
That's right.
Like, legit had no idea they were the same person who I was
Yep,
playing
yep.
Monster Hunter World with on PC.
That's amazing. That's so funny because you guys really don't live that far apart now.
Oh no, yeah, I know him
Yeah,
and Kelly are now closer to where I'm at, but like,
yeah, yeah. Because I know, like, they're fairly close. They're like somewhere in between, like John and Noel and Elisa
oh,
and Leland. Yeah, just
okay,
just to like put a pin on a map for all of our listeners that want to stalk our friends.
right,
Um,
but yeah, so they John brought me in, and of course, like everyone's like, oh, we ain't see you forever. What are you doing here? 'Cause, like even Noel knew I was coming. I didn't tell anybody else. Of course, Noelle knew because she lived with John, and
mm,
they're like,
mm,
are you playing tonight?" And we're like, "Oh no, maybe." Like I was keeping very quiet because John kind of gave me the character backstory, what I needed to know to play the character and everything.
mhm.
And, they're just like, "Oh man, are you being a player character? Are you sitting in with us?" I'm like, I got invited by the DM. That's all you need to know. Like, oh wow, or you can
That's
answer
so
like
good.
or like they're like, it was funny. The new guy, I don't know, unfortunately, I forgot his name, who I never met before that day, was like,
Blake.
Blake. Hey, that's
Yeah,
right. You used to play with the group. You know the group.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Blake. It was very funny because he was like, "So are you joining us from now on?" I said, "I got invited by the DM." Trying to be all mysterious. He's like,
Hmm,
"Oh,
hmm.
wow," or you could answer like a human. I'm like that
That's
would.
so good.
I said that would take the fun out of it, and I ended up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What did you
Go
say?
ahead. No, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I ended up playing. They had rescued some rangers whose fort got taken over by orcs or ogres. I can't remember. And I had been the traitor, the one who gave the orcs basically the access into the fort because I had been a regular at a boatside whorehouse and
Oh.
originally getting charmed by the mistress of the the head mistress of the place, but eventually I just was like, I'm cool with it, bro. Whatever you need, girl. I'm here for you. And like the description of him being very much like he can fight, but he's kind of a coward. Like he'll run if he needs to. He'll cut someone's leg so he can run faster than them. If like shit got real. So the players, as always, will pick the way the DM doesn't really want them to go, and they ended up getting to one of the bosses like right away, and it was the madam. I was like, do I recognize this lady? And John's like messaging me, so keep it private. He's like, yep, it's her. I'm like, huh, okay. So she's talking, and they're all like, oh, what are you doing here? Are you a captain? She goes, oh no, I work with them. They're my boss. My boss has all picked all this out. Then she turned into a naga, a half snake woman,
Of course.
and
I hate it when that
and
happens.
my character's like, you know what? Still hot. I'm like, yeah, I watched Monster Musume. I'm not scared. And so I'm in the back row. Brandon's like, he hopped on a box. He's also a ranged fighter. And I have a rapier and a longbow. And my character, I've already decided, like, well, I'm not going to fight these people. They're like paladins and, weird monks and a guy that looks like All Might, played by our friend David. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, so what can I do? So, well, we came through a secret passage full of, like, shock lizards that we somehow managed to sneak by. So, like, all right, it came to my turn. Brandon had taken a shot and missed. He's up on a box. I'm right next to him. I'm like, I rolled to hit him. And Brandon looked at me like, what? Yeah, so I stabbed him in the kidney with my rapier. Ran to the door we came in saying, I love you. Her name was like Lucretia or something like that. I love you, Lucretia. And I shut the door on him. Because, like, by this point, they already saw that she fucked up David because he went in melee on
Right.
her and she wrecked his world. She didn't kill him or anything, but she did a shit
Yeah.
ton of damage. So they know it wasn't no joke. And my guy ran out the room after stabbing
Perfect.
Brandon. And
Classic.
I'm so sorry, man. He goes, he was like, I was like, I assure you, if there was like friendly fire in Monster Hunter, I probably would have stabbed you before this game. He's like, no, I've been getting hit by Jerry enough throughout the games. I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you always insist on playing the weapons that can slap us around. We got to have that flinch free,
Yeah, yeah.
around you, buddy.
I honestly got to say I really love it whenever a DM can add like a new character in, or even have like a role for someone to play, and he brings someone in instead of just doing it himself.
Right.
I've been listening to Dungeons and Daddies, not a
I've,
BDSM podcast,
I've been told I
but
need to check
also
that out.
sometimes a BDSM podcast. Yeah, no, it's fucking amazing. So the two big people who you may or may not recognize the names is Anthony Birch and Freddie Wong. I don't know if you remember this mystical time back when there was this TV channel called G4 TV.
Yeah.
But Freddie Wong is he had his own YouTube channel called Rocket Jump, where they did a lot of special effects that were based off of things that would happen in video games.
Oh.
And he's a fucking hilarious dude. I remember one of my first videos that I really liked of theirs was a Time Crisis tribute. But it also had the oh man, I'm hating myself for forgetting what his name is. It's Andy, was it Andy Whitfield from Spartacus? He was the first one, I believe.
Oh.
He ended up like dying from
Oh
cancer.
yeah, yeah, the lead. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you.
But they had a Time Crisis video together that was really neat. And then Anthony Birch, him and his sister used to do a little shorts called "Hey Ash, What You Playing." And I know John and I were like huge fans of those, so he's like watching the show or listening to the show now and fucking loving it. But they do this stuff occasionally where he'll do something and he's like, so it's Anthony is the one DMing, and then there's four other people playing dads that have been flung into the Forgotten Realms, and they're going to save their children. Well, at this one point, you know, they always introduce each other like at the beginning of the episode, and they'll always give a dad fact about their character, like something like just dumb. So at the very end of the introductions, someone new fucking introduced themselves, and it was actually Anthony's sister who was on that Hey Ash, What You Playing show. So it was Ashley Birch, and she introduced herself as the dad, and it's like, did I miss an episode or something? Where did I, miss this introduction? So it just went on this whole episode, and like literally, I guess Anthony coached the other players before, and he told all of them, like, this is this character, you've known this character for a long time, and then there was one person that it was like, you don't know who the fuck this is, like, so like the one player was like questioning everything, and everyone else was just like, oh yeah, blah blah, remember that one time you did this or whatever, and would reference like an arc that they did, and then the other shoe dropped, and it finally like was revealed who she was playing, and that she was really like an enemy in disguise and stuff like that. It was pretty clever. But yeah, I really, really kind of like whenever because sometimes you could bring like new characters on or something and people aren't there for it.
Right.
So it can kind of create a stigma, but it's kind of cool to have that like good flow of good DMing and everything where they can just play it out and just like see where they end up. And they've got another one going on currently with Freddy's actual brother. That's been going really good here lately, that I'm kind of interested to see where it goes, but I'm also not caught up in it. I think John started like a year and a half after me, and he's already like flown past me because he's liking it so much. But I think he can listen to podcasts all day long at work. Anyway,
yeah, I need to. I need to get. Yeah, I want to start that one. Y'all have talked now. Mm-hmm. You also talking about it. I am one episode behind on I still haven't listened to the newest episode of the Ether Sea.
Oh man, yeah.
Which that one hasn't really been coming out regularly like they promised, but that's also not a big surprise.
Well, their regular schedule is a bi-weekly schedule, so it's been coming out every other week. Yeah, they don't. I don't think they have set it up to do a weekly thing. So yeah, there should be a new one this Thursday.
Okay, I'll have to listen to episode 2 then before 3 drops. I've been falling behind on that, just doing other things. But
yeah, I kind of want to just go back and listen to like the last 3 episodes. That's kind of what I did with Amnesty whenever it was coming out. But aside from podcast D&D podcasts, but kind of going into more of a fantasy realm, I actually went to the theater last Friday and checked out a pretty dope movie that. It's been kind of like, I don't know, hit or miss for some people, and I mean, I think there's a reason for that. But I went and saw The Green Knight Friday. Yeah, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but it's one of those things that I feel like you either have to know like some Arthurian legends, or at least do a little bit of research after the film. We did a little bit of reading, and I was like, oh, okay, some of this makes more sense. And some of it was just, with my knowledge of like how other things work in medieval times and stuff like that, it made sense to me. Not to mention, like, it was a gorgeous movie, and I was mostly just along for the ride, not really knowing what to expect.
Yeah, that's what I got from the trailer for sure. Like, I had no idea it was any kind of take on Arthurian legend. Until I think until you made your Facebook post about it, but like I was already intrigued just from the sheer, just cinematics of it, the looks, the costuming, and like the cinematography had already like This is interesting. This didn't feel like a movie that I would, and I want to say, is it like, is it from like, is it a Middle Eastern film or India or something like
No,
it's?
no, it's European because it's based off of the story of Sir Gawain, one of King Arthur's knights.
I don't know, and I may be remembering completely wrong, but I just remember like the cast feeling like maybe more from that. But again, I don't.
Hmm.
But I might be remembering wrong. But it looked very unique. Like it didn't look European. I guess you could say that,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like traditional like fantasy look. It's a very interesting film. It's one I definitely gonna scope out. I still haven't brought myself, not just because of the world or anything. Just man, you kind of get you got a comfy couch and a big screen TV. You almost don't want to go to the theaters all the time anymore.
oh yeah. I mean, especially when so many things are so accessible through streaming services and
Yeah.
everything nowadays. But yeah, the movie was great. It had a really great cast, and it was really tense at times. Like it was a really good. Like they had a lot of those long kind of silent scenes and stuff, which I will say was like one of the things that kind of sucked about seeing it in theaters, especially with like I guess people that didn't know what was going on because they were being kind of so that was a little annoying.
Of course.
But honestly, like I could bypass it enough to just focus on the movie. And yeah, it was a really pretty movie. Really well shot
I just say, Lord,
for sure.
I can't even imagine if Northwesterners are being loud and obnoxious because they don't understand the film. I don't even want to go watch it here in the South.
Right.
What the hell's going on this movie?
Yeah,
Hit
I
it with
don't
a
understand
sword.
it. Yeah,
But
basically.
well, we got a few more minutes left. I know you sent me a trailer. I'm sure you really want to
Yes.
talk about. Let's go ahead and get that done to wrap up this episode.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so a second trailer for Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage has released as of today. I'm still kind of like, I'm going to watch it for sure. Like, whatever. But, it's one of those things, and I think you said you enjoyed the first one, right?
I liked it enough. It wasn't
Yeah.
mind blowing, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things that I feel is just okay. I don't know unless I had a reason to that I would go back and like rewatch it. Really, I think I just rewatched it with Steph not too long ago, just because she had never seen it before. But I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit just getting the same sort of feel just off of the tidbits in the trailer on this one. I will say there's something in it that I kind of want to see just based off of the different settings and things that they showed. So in Cullen Bunn's run of Venom, whenever Flash Thompson was Venom and we had Agent Venom, he did this really gnarly thing, and I can't even remember what was going on. I think Flash was like had to get to this place because one of his little friends that he made was being threatened, so he had to get there fast. And like I don't know, Cullen Bunn just like likes to make an entrance, I guess. So he had this fucking muscle car that he wrapped the symbiote around and made a fucking Venom car that was just so gnarly and dope. But there are a couple of scenes that I've seen in this that show a fucking hot rod, and if we get the Venom car like that, I think that'll just make that for me. Like just them having the audacity to put this thing into the movie would fucking make it for me.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, with Carnage being introduced and Cletus Cassidy and everything, where they're gonna go. What their end game here is for it.
Right.
Yeah, what did you gather from it?
Well, it's again like it's feeling disjointed. Now,
Hmm.
like 'cause I will tell you this, like I don't have find an edit or mentally edit out every humorous clip in that trailer, and I
Hmm.
think you have a better film. I feel like the comedy isn't working for the tone.
Yeah.
Because like if you take out all that, you just have Eddie Brock meeting with Cletus Cassidy
Mhm.
and unleashing carnage and apparently Shriek into
Mhm.
the world. And I'm not like one of those people who's like, oh, there's too much humor in the comic book movies, all that Marvel formula. No, it ain't about that. Because trust me, when you go too grimdark, you get boring Snyder shit in
Yeah.
DC.
Right.
But like, I don't know, like at least with the trailer, and I hope it's more sparsed out, spread out. Maybe we're just in the opening showing Eddie trying to live with the symbiote. Now,
Hmm.
like, because the trailer at least is feeling very disjointed, that I hope the film isn't. I hope when we get to Carnage and all that, it is dead serious. Although, yeah, but like it could be used well. Like I don't know, the whole fix my nose so I can break it again and headbutt it was very silly. But like that weird dynamic also worked though when Venom saw Carnage, it was like nope, and yeeted back into Eddie. And he's like, I'll let you
Yeah,
eat everybody.
I've
That
heard
worked.
I've heard that really compared to the Hulk
Right.
Infinity War thing where he's trying to like Hulk out, but Hulk doesn't want to because he already got fucking
Right.
beat the shit out of by Thanos.
And I think Venom was like,
So
oh no, it's a red one, and he just goes into Eddie, and like and Eddie going, I'll let you eat anybody you want, just please. He goes, you promise? I promise. Like that's the comic, but like I don't know, just them being the odd couple living together. At least, like I said, the way it's being cut in the trailers, this is it's not making it like ruin the movie. I'm still gonna watch it, but it's like
mhm,
I don't know. It feels like that's the part that I'm not gonna be digging about the film. And again,
mhm,
this is a sequel to a movie I thought was just okay. I'm not the biggest
yeah,
Venom guy. The
yeah.
last, well, actually, I think he's only just now wrapping. Who's been writing Venom for the last couple of years?
Donny
The
Cates.
Donny Cates one had made me
Mhm,
interested in the character again for the first time, probably
yeah,
since Maximum Carnage. I hadn't really given
hmm
a shit about Venom since.
yeah.
I know. Sorry, Agent Venom. I know is glorious in your world, but I just
Nah, you're good.
like I don't know. You ever throw the trade at me or something? I would definitely read it, but just never nothing
Hmm.
I want to go seek out. And but like the movie, it was fine. It was entertaining enough, and I kind of liked but it just seemed like they amping up the comedy. I guess maybe they got some note from the studio because again, this is Sony who can take what should be an easy fucking film to make in the Spider-Man
Right.
franchises, and yet somehow manage to fuck them up.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because even like as much as we love like Spider-Man 2, even the Tobey Maguire stuff is still like there's some things that just didn't age well,
Right. Right.
and the Andrew Garfield, again, those films are just not like well, 2 was terrible to me, but like 1 was just not interesting, not a very good Spider-Man film. But
Hmm.
but then again, it's also been a while, and like your tastes change and evolve. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw Spider-Man movies on as one of the lists options, and I'll have to find footage of Spider-Man from Japan.
Oh yes.
But yeah, like I'm still interested in the film. It didn't turn me off, but it didn't make me any more excited for Let There Be Carnage. Woody Harrelson still looking much in a much better wig, and
Oh,
um,
definitely.
and I still think he's a damn good choice.
Hmm.
It's just I gotta like, and I'm not like again I'm not the biggest Carnage guy either, so it's not like I'm worrying about it. But there's I don't know, there's something weird about it to me that's making him be. And I don't know, maybe the character, I could be completely wrong about this. I don't remember if the
Hmm.
character is older or younger than Eddie, but like him just at least look. I don't know him and Tom Hardy's ages, but like him being older than Venom is weird to me for some reason. And that's just my
Yeah.
own little hang up because I
Hmm.
always feel like I remember Cletus Cassidy being like a young crazy ass serial killer, and like and him being smaller than Venom also was one thing I liked, that he was smaller
Hmm.
and more deadly, and they amped up his size for the film. But those are nitpicking. Well, I'm still gonna watch it. But like I said, the trailer, a good trailer, but also not, but also a little disjointed with the humor, I think, and I worry they're. I'm sure they're just showing that hey, it's not just all grim dark. There's some odd couple buddy cop going on with the Venom symbiote and Eddie Brock. But yeah, so it's still right there. It's just yeah, okay, I'm gonna watch. I'm not hyped. I'm not hyped, but I'm definitely gonna watch it.
You know something that I am high for that I at least will have watched by the time this episode comes out.
Yep.
And I know you were really excited to end the podcast there, but
No,
I
no, no, it's
honestly
fine.
kind of want to
What we
I want
got?
to
What we got?
gauge your like your I don't know how excited you are for this. Suicide Squad comes out this week.
Oh my God, it is this week, isn't it?
Yeah, and it will be available on HBO Max this
Yes,
week.
yes, good.
Yeah,
Uh,
um, man, I'm honestly really stoked for this.
yeah, super fucking hyped
Yeah.
because again, we shit on DC a lot because they deserve it right now, but I don't want to. I love DC, and I want them to make good movies again. uh,
Hmm.
and I on and unlike the Snyder cut, which once I heard that was coming, I was still like, you know what? It's just gonna be more of what Snyder made, and that's not great. um, but there is a part of me that believes a bit more in the Ayer cut of Suicide
Hmm.
Squad
Yeah.
because all reports I got, and unless I've been mistaken this whole time, but no one's corrected me yet, and I hang around nerds and they like to correct people. Uh,
Hmm. Like they
halfway,
do.
yeah, like we do. Halfway through production, they basically were like, "We want this to be our Guardians of the Galaxy, so make it more like a." Of course, now I'm going to forget his fucking name. The director of Guardians of the Galaxy,
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Thank you. Make it more like a James Gunn film, which then they added ill-used and poorly done humor and tried to lighten
Mhm.
it up and make it like wacky villains, and it didn't fucking work. So they just cut to the fucking chase and threw and got James Gunn to make a Suicide Squad movie. So I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. This is what they always wanted to be. But we also, without giving away, I've seen a few things about the film. I'm not going to mention on here. We'll talk about it after the movie comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they're embracing the R rating. They're embracing the the dark side that DC likes to go to, but actually looking like they're going to make it entertaining, which is what they tend to forget. And I think because not everything has to be Batman, not everything has to be grim, dark, and brooding to make it mature and edgy. You can actually just
Seriously.
you can actually just make a dark film without it just being the Batman. So
Yep.
I'm super fucking hyped. I am gonna call it that King Shark is gonna be a standout. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think, but also I'm very excited what he's doing with all these other characters. I mean, we already know John Cena's
Seriously.
character is getting a lot of shit, or not shit, but like, well, he's getting shit, but not, but his character's getting a
Uh-huh.
lot of hype behind the Peacemaker. Is it Peacemaker? No, no, it's not Peacemaker. Is it?
For John Cena.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's playing
it
Peacemaker.
is Peacemaker. I was trying to remember the name because again, he pulled out the C-list team, and
Yeah.
that's kind of amazing for Suicide Squad. Margot Robbie, good or bad, however you feel about the movie she's been in, she is an amazing Harley Quinn, and I'm
Hmm.
excited to see her back in there with a competent director who will make it
Yeah.
entertaining and put her because I mean. If nothing else, he put her in the suit I've been bitching about since Suicide Squad originally dropped.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
then put her in the suit I've been saying she needs to be in. Uh, I know I don't.
Fucking Polka Dot Man, dude.
Polka Dot
Like,
Man could be a low
hell
key.
yeah.
Like I have a feeling about him that he also may become a standout in this
Hmm.
film.
Hmm.
Just got this feeling just based on on the trailer. Because I think we're all gonna die. He goes, I hope so. Like he could be great. Captain
Oh, I didn't
Boomerang.
even. Oh yeah, Boomerang's back,
Yeah.
baby.
With the oft man, of course I'm going blank on his name. The actor
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney, who gets a lot of shit, and maybe I haven't seen a lot of his films or something, but like I don't know, people really shit on him for some reason, and I don't have anything personally against Jai Courtney.
Yeah,
He,
yeah. I didn't even realize until I looked it up just now, but fucking James Gunn's brother
oh yeah, yeah,
is
Weasel,
Weasel, Sean
Weasel,
Gunn.
yeah. Oh,
uh,
he's got to put him in every damn movie he's in, and you know what?
yeah,
Thank you for doing so, because
I know,
he
right?
tends to be a treasure. The like
Yeah.
from obviously his on-screen portrayals to his his mocap suit work as Rocket Raccoon being petted by Batista is still one of my favorite behind-the-scenes photos I've ever seen. If you hadn't, he actually had
Yeah.
to Sean Gunn had to sit low to Batista when he scratches Rocket's head at the end of the first movie, and you just see
So
Batista
good.
scratching Sean Gunn's head. So no, yeah, I am super hyped. I'm hoping I will enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the last DC film that I really liked, which was Birds of Prey.
Mhm.
As many problems as I had with that film, I actually still managed to enjoy myself watching it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think we're gonna get a damn good Suicide Squad film.
Yeah, I am so stoked. It might be our next episode.
Oh, most likely, if it's dropping this week, I'm definitely gonna watch it as soon as it goes live. Sadly, probably after I get home from work, since I'm working morning. What, depending on what, it'll probably drop on Friday or something, right? So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
it'll
I
be
think
after
Friday
work.
is the official day. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be after work, so I have to avoid the internet until then, until I get home and watch it. But yeah, we will.
Hell yeah.
Y'all can definitely look forward to hearing about that next week then.
Mhm.
So I think that is going to do it. If you got nothing else, good sir.
And now I think that's about it.
That's great. All right. Thank y'all as always for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.